Yay. Beep, beep, boo.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, your assignment, yearbook covers. Everybody is required to do one. I don't care if you don't want it on the front of the yearbook or not. You are required to do one. If you don't want it on the yearbook, I'm not the one voting on it. So I can't tell you who's going to be on there, who's not. I've had people in the past who've been super surprised that they got on. I don't vote mainly because I don't want to. I know too much about you guys and your backstory and what you've done and what your examples are. I don't want to vote. I want it to be a completely unbiased party, people who don't know you. So what you guys are looking at, this is the one from 2018, 2019. I unfortunately did not get a copy of the one from last year. This is probably one of my favorite covers anyway, but I have a hard time choosing any of my favorite covers. So that changes every time I take a look at them. So this is going to be the first place one. On the back, you have 9 more. So it's 10 slots that could end up on the yearbook cover. These are all designed by kids. I love bouncing ideas off of each other. When I am giving you guys suggestions in this project, other than please make sure you have this, you do not have to do anything as far as design goes. Like I said, if you can't draw a tiger, don't draw a tiger. Your job is to manipulate people. And that sounds really, really bad, but think about it. Manipulate means to make somebody act the way you want them to act. I have favorite pieces of junk mail. I do. It's a weird thing, but I have a favorite piece of junk mail. These, I'll show you that one last, but this is how people manipulate you. Do you know how you get the advertisements in the mail? And like nobody really wants to open them. So 9 times out of 10, nobody opens them and they just throw them out because they know it's another credit card thing that makes you want to apply for a credit card. So they say, yeah, we don't really need to read that. And they throw it out. Let me show you some of the ones that made me pause and go, oh, I want to read that. So they manipulated me. So the first one I want to show you is one I got just a couple of years ago. So if you take a look, it says popcorn on it. So now I'm curious, what does this have to do with popcorn? Because usually it's like the credit card company and you know you can throw it out. So I'm curious now. So they've already got me hooked and they're already manipulating me because they're using my curiosity. So my old one. I don't live there anymore. So if you take a look inside of this envelope, want free popcorn with your free $25 movie gift card. So they're giving me a promo. But if you take a look inside, they have a giant ticket. And on the ticket, they have printed their advertisement to make it look like it's part of the ticket. And then they gave me this little, like, it almost looks like a box of candy.
Nope.
And they're giving me their advertisement in here. So they even on the back put their nutrition facts as the facts of whatever they're offering me. So I have not only opened this, I've read every single thing just to see what it's all about. They manipulated me like crazy. If I grab this one was in a newspaper. If I take a look, this was an advertisement in the newspaper. They did not draw a dog. They made words in the shape of a dog. So if you can't draw a tiger, this could be an option. You just get the outline of a tiger and you fill it with stuff. So this one is all about a career for every passion. So the theme here, if you're passionate about animals, it's giving you all kinds of ideas for jobs that do with animals. So like park manager, canine food manager, deputy dog warden, veterinary assistant, animal rescue, dog handler, groomer, dog walker. There's all kinds of things to do with dogs if that's what you're passionate about. All of them are jobs. So this is an advertisement to say, hey, we can hook you up with a job you may like. But I read every single word to try and figure out, well, what does that say? And what does that say? They're manipulating me into pausing long enough to read what they want me to read. This one is my favorite. It's really old, but it's my favorite. Free lunch for by name. So I was like, okay, well, the very first thing I noticed when I opened this up or when I got it in my mail is that they printed the envelope. Because if I look at the back, see how it's white on the inside? So they physically paid to have these printed on the outside. That costs money. So that means there's something important about it. So I opened it up because I'm kind of curious. Have a great day at school. All right. So might have something to do with school. And then I opened this up. So in this envelope, and this is, I kept everything in the envelope. The very first thing I saw was this. So I have what they want me to read, and I see this coffee stain kind of thing. I did not. It was printed on there. They did it. They did it to grab my attention. And they see the pickle inside. So I opened it up, and then there was this. Take a break from your brown bag. So they're talking about a lunch. And on the back of the pickle, it says, hey, you can get a free $25 gift card to this restaurant if you do what we want you to do, to buy what we want you to buy. But not only that, they gave me this in there too. So it's a picture of a sandwich, but it's not just a picture. Now my curiosity is really going because I've never gotten a sandwich in the mail before. So if I open this up, there's their advertisement. They have manipulated me into reading every single word I didn't want to read. And when I went back and I finally made the connection, the sandwich, the pickle, the coffee stain, this is a printed paper bag like you would pack your lunch in. Oh, yeah. So they have absolutely manipulated me into reading every single word. I didn't buy what they wanted me to buy, but I definitely saw what they wanted me to see. And that's half of the battle, because any other envelope, I might have just taken it without opening it and go, more junk mail. Just throwing it out. So your job is to manipulate people into opening the yearbook, wanting to buy this. Because if you see a cover like this, you're going to go, oh, wow, I wonder what else is inside. I wonder if, and they printed it all in color, which is a great big deal. Most yearbooks don't do that. It's really expensive to do that. So your cover should attract somebody over to come and look. It should be one of those things that you want to pick up and you want to investigate. So the very first assignment I have for you is I have a requirement that you do at least 6 thumbnails. I'm going to tell you, a thumbnail is a very, very small drawing. It's just for planning purposes only. So you're not going to get super detailed. Your thumbnails should all fit on a half a sheet of paper, all 6. If you folded a piece of paper in half, all 6 should fit on there. So what I'm going to do for a thumbnail is just a rough box in the shape that I need it to be in. It doesn't even have to be pretty. This is just to get your ideas in. So what I'm doing right here, let's say I want to start with some kind of a paw theme. So maybe my first idea is that I put the paw right here. I'm not even going to try and make it detailed yet. Maybe it's got some claws. And maybe I need to put words here. So maybe I put MES and I put the year here. I'm not even going to write it in there. I just want to know where it is. Or maybe instead, maybe I like that paw idea, but maybe I don't like it here. Maybe instead I'm going to put it on, I don't know, maybe I make some paw prints right here. I'm not trying to be really detailed, so these are going to be ugly as heck. That's okay. Maybe I put MES in the middle of the paws, and then I put the year curved right here. So 2021 to 2022. But that leaves my extra space here. So how do I fill that? So I would try to figure that out. Maybe I make a design. Maybe I put some stuff in there that's sports. I don't know. But now I can see that there's going to be some empty space here. So what do? Do I drop this lower? Maybe. So maybe I put MES in the middle of my design. I'm trying out different ways to do it. And maybe I put 2021, 2022, and I fill some more space. So now all of a sudden I've got this, but if this is a full sheet of paper, it's going to have to be really big. Maybe I decide, okay, I want to try something different. Maybe I want to do curved letters. So maybe I decide to make MES curved. I'll show you how to do that in a second. Maybe I have the year curved. And then maybe I have a design here in the middle. Maybe I can draw a tiger face. So maybe I want to draw a tiger. I'm only going to put that. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on detail. I should be able to come up with these designs by the end of class. These are due. A picture of this sheet is due in Google Classroom on Wednesday. I want to see your designs. I don't want to see detail. I want to see your plan. Maybe I scrap this and maybe I go with something like this, where this would be black, yellow, black, yellow. Maybe this is white. And then I start putting the name of things in there. You don't have to be an artist to have a good design. You could take this, put your information right here, and spend the rest of it making white or yellow, white, and black boxes around the outside, like a ripple pattern. So maybe this is black, yellow, black, and you do boxes to the outside. That does not require any drawing whatsoever except with a ruler.
Well, I just want to say something.
Not at all. If you want to do more than 6, great. If you've already finished one, pause and do these anyway. Some people were getting ahead of themselves and they decided to go ahead with one. That's okay. But I want to make sure that you're not putting all your eggs in one basket, because have you ever gotten to a point where you've done a drawing and you see what somebody else has done and you go, oh my gosh, that's such a good idea. I'm so disappointed that I didn't think of that earlier. Or you're just about done with it and you think, oh, I wish I would have put that text in the center instead of on the top. Or, oh, I wish I would have drawn that pond bigger instead of this little tiny in the middle. So once you get your thumbnails done, what I recommend you doing, hang on, 5. No, we're not doing this. We are not doing this where you guys are all distracted because I'm trying to help you. When you've decided, if you take a look at your list and you think, okay, I like this idea and I like this idea, maybe I can combine the two. You don't have to choose what you're doing. So maybe here, instead of having the lines, maybe my paws are here. And that's how I filled space, was to have those lines be there. So I can still do my MES thing and still do these behind it. You can combine different pieces. I want you to be able to cherry pick, which means to take the best out of all of your drawings and put them together into something that's stronger than just one all by itself. What kids tend to do is they tend to draw one and go, that's it, that's the one. I know that for sure, that's it, that's it, that's it, that's it. And then later on, they look around at what other people are doing. They go, oh, I don't like this anymore. I hate this. Can I start over? Well, we're trying to avoid that. We're trying to get you on the right path here. So don't put all your eggs in one basket. Try different things. Try it different ways. Try it different like styles. When you go to do lettering, don't do this. Boring. Boring, 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 boring. Instead, think about how you can manipulate it. If I want to do that, maybe I can do something like this. Do you guys remember those lines you used to write on where it was like this?
Yeah.
Where you go A.
Yeah, that was boring.
B, C, D. Do you remember those?
Yeah.
Watch this. Do you see this line right here? Imagine this one's the top and this one's the bottom and the dotted line's in the center. Let's try this down here.
Whoa.
Manipulate your lines. You can even do something like this.
That's scary. You're scary. Whoa. Her iPad picture was
You can make them pinch. You can take them And let's say I'm not a big drawer, but let's say I put a skeleton in there. And let's say I want to make it a little fancier. So what if you outline your letters? It makes it bubble letters. Bubble letters, block letters. It just depends. Do you want corners on it or do you not want corners on it? You can make them bubbles. You can make them really, really, really spiky if you want to. So maybe this one ends in all kinds of corners. As long as I'm following the pattern, it works. I'm just making it up as I go. I don't have to do anything because there's no real right or wrong way. As long as it looks like an S when I'm done, I'm good.
Can you do mine like that?
So I can do that different thing. I can make different styles. You guys have your iPads. You can look up different typography, which is different artwork with letters. It's up to you. Word to the wise. Here are the requirements. 5. Here are the requirements. It must be designed vertically, which means it's not this way. It's tall because it's going on a book cover. They're not going to choose something that goes sideways because the book has to be opened like this. Your client, the person that has hired you, has requirements if you're a graphic designer. The requirements on this are that it's vertical, it's got to be 8.5 by 11, and it's got to have the name of the school and the year on it. I'm requiring that you have to fill your space. So you're not going to have one great big paper like this and have this little teeny paw and the date. That's a really poor design. There's a lot of empty, unused space there. I did great with this. This part sucks. So make sure that you are looking for detail. If you look at these and you look at the ones that were picked, okay, 5. If you look at the ones that are picked, it's the ones that fill the space. Now, this one didn't fill the space all over, but the way they planned it was just good enough that all of that space looks like it's required because this is so detailed. If you put anything else in that space, you might have missed the tiger. So that really makes that stand out. This one over here, that filled the space. It's not a highly detailed tiger, but it's got enough detail in it to make it look interesting. This one right here chose to be a little off center. That's okay. He's got enough space here that this and this work together like a yin-yang symbol, one of those black and white things that kind of goes together. Positive and negative space are working together. This one filled the whole page. This took her a long time. You can draw these. I keep trying to walk away from my camera. You can draw these by hand on paper. You can draw them by hand and put them onto Ibis and color them in Ibis, or you can design them completely in Canva or Ibis, completely digital. They must be submitted by December 1st. I'll say that one more time. They must be on Artsonia by December 1st. There is a deadline for a reason. The yearbook cover committee needs to be able to see them. I send up the link to the high school. They pick from Artsonia. If it is not on Artsonia, it is not turned in. This is a 100-point project. I'll say that again. This is a 100-point project. It is required to do this. If you don't, chances of you failing the quarter are pretty high. Don't delay. Okay, 5. Don't delay on turning this in. If you need help, I'm here. But this is something you have to turn in. Brad.
Does it have to say Maplewood on it?
It can say MES or it can say Maplewood, but it has to have the school name on it so that we know who it is.
I didn't know.
Yeah, it has to have the school name on it. Let me find which
I did
window.
that kindergarten did on the